You keep telling yourself that you control your mind, yet a single comment can ruin your day, a small setback can steal your peace, and a random thought can change your mood for hours. So the real question is this: do you control your mind, or does it control you? If you want to control your mind instead of being controlled by it, you must first learn to master the chaos that exists beneath the surface of your daily life. Because the greatest battles are rarely fought in the outside world. They happen silently, inside your own thoughts, where most people lose without ever realizing they are fighting. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius left behind a collection of personal reflections that reveal how one of the most powerful men in history struggled with the same fears, frustrations, distractions, and emotional storms that still affect people today. But hidden within those pages is a principle that changes everything. Most people spend their lives trying to control circumstances. The wise learn to control themselves. But there is a deeper reason why this idea is so difficult to apply. And when you discover what Marcus Aurelius understood about the mind, you'll see why so many intelligent people remain trapped by emotions they believe they cannot control. The answer begins with an invisible tyrant that almost everyone serves without knowing it. The invisible tyrant. How your mind becomes your master. The most dangerous ruler is the one you never notice. Most people assume they are thinking freely. They believe their decisions are rational, their reactions are justified, and their emotions are simply responses to reality. But Marcus Aurelius repeatedly observed something unsettling. The mind often operates on autopilot. Instead of governing our thoughts, we become governed by them. A careless remark instantly triggers anger. An uncertain future creates anxiety before anything has actually happened. A memory from years ago can still generate pain in the present moment. In each case, the external event is not in control. The reaction is. Yet because the reaction happens so quickly, it feels as though it is part of reality itself. This is how the invisible tyrant gains power. Not through force, but through habit. Every time you accept a thought without examining it, every time you obey an impulse without questioning it, you strengthen its authority over your life. Eventually, your moods begin making decisions for you. Your fears define your limits. Your frustrations shape your actions. The practical lesson is surprisingly simple. Start observing your thoughts instead of immediately identifying with them. The moment you create distance between yourself and your mental reactions, you begin reclaiming authority that was never meant to belong to them. But recognizing the tyrant is only the beginning. An even deeper discovery awaits. Because the real source of suffering is not what happens to you. It is something that occurs in the split second after it happens. The gap between event and judgment. Your suffering often begins where reality ends. One of the most profound insights in meditations is that events and judgments are not the same thing. Yet most people experience them as if they were inseparable. Something happens, and within an instant the mind creates a story about it. That story then becomes the emotional reality they live inside. A delayed response becomes rejection. A mistake becomes proof of inadequacy. A criticism becomes a personal attack. Notice what is happening. The event itself may be neutral, but the interpretation attached to it transforms it into anxiety, anger, shame, or fear. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to pause in this narrow space between what happened and what he believed about what happened. That pause changed everything. It allowed him to see that many of the battles people fight are not against reality, but against the meanings they have assigned to reality. This principle becomes incredibly powerful in everyday life. When something upsets you, ask yourself a simple question. What actually happened, and what story am I adding to it? That distinction can dissolve emotional storms that would otherwise dominate your day. The mind hates this exercise because it weakens its automatic control. It forces awareness to step in where habit once ruled. And once you begin seeing how many emotions are created by interpretation rather than circumstance, you uncover a surprising source of inner freedom. Yet freedom alone is not enough. Because even when you learn to separate events from judgments, there is still a challenge that defeats most people. The challenge of remaining steady when the entire world seems determined to shake you. Training the inner fortress. A fragile mind breaks where a disciplined mind stands firm. Most people spend years trying to build security in the outside world. They seek approval, stability, status, certainty, and comfort. The problem is that all of those things can disappear without warning. When they do, anyone who depends on them for peace is left vulnerable. Marcus Aurelius proposed a different solution. Instead of building stronger walls around your life, build stronger foundations within yourself. He described the mind as a fortress, one that cannot be invaded unless its gates are opened from the inside. This does not mean becoming cold, detached, or indifferent. It means developing the ability to remain grounded when circumstances become unstable. Criticism loses much of its power when your self-worth no longer depends on praise. Uncertainty becomes less threatening when you stop demanding guarantees from the future. Even setbacks begin to change character when they are viewed as challenges rather than personal defeats. This inner fortress is built through repeated acts of self-command. Every moment you choose reason over impulse, patience over anger, or perspective over panic, another stone is added to its walls. The process is gradual, but the results are profound. What once controlled you begins to lose its influence. The most surprising part is that the fortress is never truly finished. No matter how strong your mind becomes, new challenges will continue to test it. And that reveals a truth that many people never fully understand. The battle for control is not won once. It is fought every single day. The daily battle against mental chaos. The mind you neglect today becomes the obstacle you face tomorrow. Many people treat self-mastery as a destination. They believe there will come a day when they finally become calm, disciplined, and immune to emotional turbulence. Marcus Aurelius understood something very different. The mind is not conquered once and forever. It must be guided again and again, every single day. Despite ruling an empire, facing wars, political conflicts, betrayals, and constant uncertainty, he continued writing reminders to himself. Not because he lacked wisdom, but because wisdom must be renewed. Even the clearest principles fade when they are not practiced. This is where most people lose control. They wait until stress appears before trying to manage it. They wait until anger rises before seeking patience. They wait until anxiety takes over before searching for peace. By then, the mind is already running the show. The alternative is daily mental training, taking a moment to examine your reactions, questioning assumptions before accepting them as truth, refocusing on what is within your control instead of obsessing over what is not. These small acts seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, they reshape the way you experience reality itself. The chaos never completely disappears. Life will continue presenting unexpected challenges, difficult people, and uncomfortable situations. The difference is that a trained mind no longer treats every disturbance as a crisis. It learns to remain steady while the storm passes. And yet, there is one final realization that ties everything together. A realization that determines whether these lessons remain interesting ideas or become a completely different way of living. Master the chaos or be ruled by it. Every day, your mind chooses a master. Throughout this journey, a pattern has emerged. The invisible tyrant gains power when thoughts go unquestioned. Suffering grows when judgments are mistaken for reality. Inner strength develops when a fortress is built within, and mental clarity becomes possible only through daily discipline. All of these lessons point toward a single truth. Freedom is not the absence of problems. Freedom is the ability to remain in command of yourself while facing them. Most people spend their lives trying to arrange the world in a way that guarantees peace. They want better circumstances, better timing, better people, and fewer obstacles. But life never makes that promise. The world remains unpredictable. Challenges continue to arrive. Uncertainty never disappears completely. What changes is the person facing those realities. The moment you stop demanding control over everything around you and start taking responsibility for what happens within you, something remarkable occurs. Fear loses part of its grip. Frustration becomes easier to manage. Setbacks stop defining your identity. The mind that once created chaos begins creating stability. This is the choice Marcus Aurelius faced repeatedly, and it is the same choice that stands before you today. Not once in a lifetime, but every morning you wake up, you can allow your emotions, impulses, fears, and assumptions to dictate the course of your life. Or you can develop the awareness to observe them, question them, and direct them towards something greater. In the end, the answer to the question that opened this video is not found in a philosophy book, a quote, or a moment of inspiration. It is found in the decisions you make when no one is watching.